Now the key to shooting lower scores and getting your handicap down is not making a barrage of birdies, it's keeping those double bogeys or worse, those destructive holes off your scorecard. So in this video, I'm going to give you some strategy advice backed up by data from ShotScope that's going to really help you lower your scores by keeping those double bogeys off your card, make more pars, and hopefully you'll see an improvement in your play. We're at the beautiful Peter Milton Golf Club. Let's get into it. Now before we get into the strategy advice, the first thing to acknowledge is the extent to which double bogeys are a problem. I'm going to flash up the data here from ShotScope. You can see the average golfer, a 15 handicap golfer, is making nearly 5 double bogeys a round. It's an incredible amount. So clearly reducing the frequency of them should be a priority. So let's head to the tee and see what we can do there. Right, the first way you can reduce the number of double bogeys you make during a round is by hitting it further off the tee. Now I know this sounds obvious, we all want to hit the golf ball further, but if you look at the data from ShotScope, you can see there is a direct correlation between how far you hit it off the tee and the score you end up with at the end of the hole. This is a 15 handicapper example. The data is clear and obvious for all to see. The longer you hit it, the better your chances of not making a double bogey. The data tells us that being a lot further down the hole in the rough is better than being shorter than on the hole and on the fairway. So we know that accuracy isn't as important as distance. So for golfers that like to choose a 3-wood over a driver because it feels like it gives them a bit more accuracy and gets them in play a bit more, that sort of analogy doesn't really quite work, and actually the stats show that golfers aren't really that more accurate with a 3-wood than a driver. So in most cases I would say bin the 3-wood off, go with the driver, and really prioritise in your off season or when you're not playing golf, when you're practicing, trying to increase the distance you get with the driver. There's a number of ways you can do that really easily. Could be some speed training at home, maybe get some speed sticks, maybe just improving the quality of strike that you get with the driver, trying to hit it out of the middle more often, curving the ball less. That's one way golfers reduce the distance off the tee. If they hit bits, big slices, big hooks, that's another reason why golfers don't hit it as fast. So try and hit the ball straighter, maybe tee the ball up a little bit more to encourage more of an upward hit. All these different things could help you get a little bit more distance off the tee. Really let it rip, try and get down the hole as far as you can, and that's going to reduce the number of double bogeys you make. So here I'm going to, beautiful 17th hole here at Peter Milton. Don't swing for control, just give it a rip and deal with the consequences at the end. It's down the left. It's in the rough, but that's okay, because I'm down the fairway and I've got a shot to the green. The second way you can make fewer double bogeys is to avoid penalty areas, lost balls and fairway bunkers off the tee. Again, it sounds obvious, but again, there is a direct correlation between golfers that find those things off the tee and their scores, because it goes up considerably. Actually, if you look at fairway bunker stats, which I'll flash up on the screen now, you're about half a shot worse off if you find a fairway bunker off the tee than if you were to find the fairway. So you definitely want to avoid fairway bunkers. And one way you can really assess what lies ahead and make sure that you avoid those hazards that lie in wait for you is investing in some sort of tech. I've got the ShotScope V5 watch here, which is very nice because it gives you aerial hole maps, which is quite useful. So you can see, scroll up and down the hole and see what lies ahead at your driving distance, because that's the other thing. You really need to know exactly how far you carry your driver, not total distance, how far you carry it, because that will determine what hazards lie in wait for you down there and what are in play for you. And if you've done all the things that I told you to do in point number 1, some speed training, maybe some quality of strike training, you might well hit it a bit further, and therefore you need to get on a launch monitor and see how far you're actually hitting it now and recalibrate that and see what hazards lie in wait for you with your new improved distance. But so you know how far you've got down the fairway, you know you need to avoid all those things we talked about, and lost balls are incredibly damaging. A 25 handicapper loses 6 balls a round. Not only is that very expensive, but it's definitely going to be hurting your scores. But the other thing I think all golfers should develop is a go-to shot, or a shot that curves one way. If you've got a shot that curves one way, or you know it's going to curve that way, then you can allow for that with your aim, and it should take one side of the golf course out of play. So if they're, for me, I've started to develop a bit of a fade. It's become my go-to shot. I'm more comfortable with that when under pressure. So pretty good for this hole. It's out of bounds all down the left. So I know I can aim down the left, and curve it to the right. Really understand what you go to under pressure. Priority is avoiding bunkers, out of bounds, lost balls in particular, and that will hopefully reduce the number of double bogeys you have. So I know under pressure, I'm going to be able to cut this from left to right, and it's going to avoid the trouble. Look at that, absolutely perfect. It's missed the fairway bunker, it's missed the hazard, slap bang in the middle of the fairway, and I'd do very well to make a double bogey from there. Now, one of the main reasons double bogeys occur is by golfers getting too greedy from fairway bunkers. We know from the stats you're far less likely to hit the green from a fairway bunker, and your scores go up considerably if you're in one of these things. And I think the reason is people get too greedy and often don't get out on the first time. Maybe hitting a club that's not appropriate for the size of the lip, hitting the lip, comes back in, and you're hitting again from the same place. So really important to not get greedy from the fairway bunker. Your absolute first priority should be to choose a club that you know is going to clear the lip and get the ball out. You're much better off being short of the green with a clear shot for your next shot than having to play again from here. So on the Golf Monthly website, there's loads of good advice about how to get out of fairway bunkers and how to play that shot correctly. I'm not going to stand here and tell you exactly how to do that, but a couple of things I like to do in a fairway bunker is just grip the club a little bit tighter, just pulls it away from the ground a little bit, and just have the ball slightly further back in your stance. That's going to ensure, hopefully, that you catch the ball first before the sand. Your intention is no different from the fairway in that regard. You're trying to hit the ball first, then the ground in a fairway bunker. I've got a pitching wedge here, which I know is plenty of loft to get the ball out of this fairway bunker. So trust the loft on the club, ball a smidge back in the stance, and just try and catch the ball first. Oh, I've pulled it, but it's got out. It's missed the green. But most importantly, it's not still in the fairway bunker. I've got a shot from the third shot, and hopefully I can make bogey it worse and not a double bogey. But when it comes to shorter shots like this around the green, obviously it's important to use a club that you're most comfortable with. It could be, you know, a chipper, for example, whatever club works for you. But if you look at the data, most ability of golfers, or pretty much every ability of golfer, has a lower shots to finish stat with a lower lofted club like an 8-iron or a 9-iron versus a sand wedge or a lob wedge. So using less loft where you can is really important. Obviously, if you've got a bunker to go over, you might need to switch to a higher lofted club to get the elevation. But in most scenarios, you're much better off using a lower lofted club here, like I've got, which is an 8-iron. So ditch the sand wedge, go for a lower lofted club, obviously, because that way you're going to be making a shorter swing. Less can go wrong with that regard, less wrist hinge, less technique involved versus a lob wedge where you're having to make a much longer swing. Far more can go wrong. You want to get the ball rolling as early as you can. So I've got an 8-iron here. I mean, this applies if you've got a decent line than rough like I've got here, but it works equally well from the fairway. So just really simplify the technique. Just get the shaft leaning slightly ahead of the ball, back and through, and get it running up towards the hole. Pretty happy with that one. I'll do very well to make a double bogey from there. So switch to a lower lofted club is going to put this odds in your favour. Right, just a short interlude to say, if you are enjoying the video, please do click the like button and subscribe to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel. It really helps us out. And if you like the look of any of the ShotScope products featured in this video, I've put some handy links in the description so you can get your hands on those for the best price in your area. Right, let's go and find some more ways that you can make fewer double bogeys. Now this is a classic scenario that leads to double bogeys a lot of the time. You've hit a bad shot and you compound your error with another by going for a risky shot, and it leads to a double bogey or worse. I think that's you look at the tour pros, the one thing they don't do is follow one bad shot with another. They're able to forget what's gone before and focus on the most important shot, which is the next shot, and get the ball back in play. We're all gonna hit bad shots, duffs, fats, thins, shanks, it happens. The most important thing is to put that out of your mind and focus on hitting a good shot for your next shot. And in this particular shot here, it's clear I've hit a bad tee shot, I'm in the right hand side, I'm in the trees. And the one thing you absolutely need to avoid to make sure you don't make a double bogey is those miracle shots. So whether it's, you know, here, a big slice around the trees, it could be a long carry over water, taking on that high flop shot over a bunker. Those are the shots you really need to avoid taking on if you want to stop making double bogeys. So in this particular situation, I'm not going to try that banana slice and try and get it up to the pin, or maybe through that tiny gap over there towards the pin. I'm going to take my medicine, get it back in play, and then hopefully it'll give me a chance to get on the green, 1 putt, 2 putt at worst, and make a bogey. There we go. Perfectly back in play. I can pitch it on from there, and hopefully a double bogey won't be on the card. Now, another way you can absolutely reduce the number of double bogeys you make during a round is by developing a fail-safe greenside bunker technique. We know, looking at the shot scope data, that you're about half as likely to get up and down from a bunker than you are anywhere else around the green. So it's imperative that you have a technique that gets you out every time. You know, high handicappers in particular struggle with this shot, and often hitting it into the face, coming back down, and you're hitting again from a greenside bunker, and that's where your scores really start to go up. So have a look on the Golf Monthly website, loads of really good advice about how to get out of greenside bunkers every time. Maybe think of adding a bunker specific club to your bag. There's a few out there. There's one from Ping, that Ping bunker that was recently launched, developed specifically for bunkers. So if you really struggle from bunkers, I'd consider investing in one of those. But in terms of your strategy, obviously you need to make sure you get it out, but really don't focus on getting too cute with these shots. Just focus on getting it out. Don't go chasing those tight pins. So for this particular shot, you can see the pin is quite tight to me here on the front of the green. I'm not going to be messing around with that. I'm going to make sure I'm getting it past the pin, giving myself a putt back for a par. Who knows, I might hole it, but at least I won't be making a double bogey. So make sure you get it out. Don't get too cute with it. Give it some speed. Perfect. It's a little bit past the hole, but I'm okay with that. I might well make that putt for a par, but hopefully I won't be making double bogey. Now, another cause of double bogeys is too many 3-putts during a round. Poor lag putting specifically leads to unnecessary strokes on the green. So you really need to develop a system that allows you to control your distance and allows you to get the ball close to the hole from long range and reduce the chance of 3-putts. Again, loads of tips on the Golf Monthly website to help you with lag putting, but one drill I've found that works for me, I'm a 2.5 index golfer, that I do a lot in practice, is this one in what I'm going to demonstrate now. So what I like to do is I just like to roll a putt about 30 foot away. There's a little mark down there. So I'm just going to try and roll this ball towards that mark down there. So that's around about 25, 30 feet. And then what I like to do with these next 2 balls, I want to try and hit this first one just past it, and there's a second one just short of it, because that really develops that sort of the micro changes you need to make in your feel and your calibration to get adjusting to different distances. So I know that I want to just try and get this one just past that ball. Pretty happy with that one. Just past it, and I want to get this ball just short of the first one. Or you could do it. You could try and get the ball in between the first one and the second one, which would make it even harder. That's what I'm going to try and do now. So really developing that sort of sense of feel and distance control. Try and get it in between those 2 balls, which I've failed miserably and I've hit it way too hard. But try that drill. Just try and put a ball down there, get one short, one past. Just develops the sense of feel and distance control, and hopefully on the course will manifest itself into better lag putting and fewer 3-putts. Now, I think one of the easiest ways you can make fewer double bogeys is to improve your putting from short range, specifically that 3 to 6 foot range. If you look at the data from ShotScope, 25 handicappers are only making 48% putts from this distance, whereas PGA Tour players are making up at 85%. And why I think this is one of the easiest areas to improve is that it doesn't require any physical strength or flexibility or speed. It's literally just about moving the putter a very short distance and squaring the putter face to your intended target every time. And also, you can pretty much practice short putts anywhere, at home, on the carpet, on a practice putting green, pretty much wherever you want. There's always room to be able to just work on getting the club face back to square every time. And one drill that I think was really going to help golfers with this particular issue, which I learned from my friend and colleague Joe Ferguson, who's a PGA Pro, is rather than practice putting to a hole on the practice putter green, practice putting to a tee. That is going to obviously make the target smaller, and therefore when you're on the course it should increase your margin for error. So rather than practice putting to a hole, really focus on trying to hit the tee peg. See if we can do one here for you. There we go, right in the middle of the tee. I'm very happy with that one. Obviously that would have gone in the centre of the hole, but if you do just miss the tee, you really focus on that tee. It's a narrow target. If you do miss it, like that may well have lipped in on the right-hand side. So focus on practice putting to a tee from 3 to 6 feet. That should hopefully help you hole more from short range and 3-putt less, which means fewer double bogeys. So that concludes our look at the ways you can stop making those destructive double bogeys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Big thank you to Peter Milton for hosting us here today. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll put some links in the description where you can get your hands on some of the ShotScope products featured in this video. But that's all from me, from Peter Milton. I'll see you next time.